Oh, hey, good morning, everybody. Paul with you here. I guess it's around 8:30, maybe 8 o'clock in the morning. And this is a beautiful Sunday morning. It is going to get rather hot, so I am getting my walking in early. I had good sleep last night, so I was able to get up at around 4:30 in the morning, and I was able to I couldn't really take any kind of a serious nap because I had to be in at 6 a.m., but I was able to overcome and make it into work. And I do feel fit as a fiddle right now. And I think I've waited long enough. Tomorrow, I'm going to weigh myself. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I have been telling you to go out and walk. And when you go out and walk, it's going to do something to your body. Now, let me say that I know some people have cheeseburger addictions like I do. Some people have chili dog addictions, as I do. Some people like to eat chicken salad sandwiches to excess, like I do. I have all these same problems that many of you probably have. Sometimes we overeat a bit. Sometimes we nosh on popcorn or whatever. And I have been at this, honestly, I believe since the end of September, so maybe the 25th of September. And that goes 25th of October, 25th of November, 25th of December, 25th of January, 25th of February, 25th of March, 25th of April. It will be 7 months. This is no small-time diet that I've been on. It has been every bit of discipline that I can do given my situation. And that's the way it is. So, why would you not see me as a god? I have the same vices as you, many of you. Yet I continue to reduce and lose weight. If you believe in me as a God, you'll do what I tell you or what I ask. And what you need to do is you need to walk, just like that woman is doing right there. Walk, just like that woman is doing right there. Walk. When you walk 12 miles in one day, even if you can only do a half a mile, and then in another hour you go out and you walk another half mile, and then another hour later or 2 hours later you walk another half mile. You know, it's only 15 minutes, folks. And then maybe later on in the day you do a half a mile again. And you do that 8, 9 times in a day, and you take your 15 minutes out and 15 minutes at a calm pace like I'm walking right now. You don't have to go like this. You don't have to have a quick pace. That's almost 4 miles an hour. So 15 minutes of walking will begin to add up, and there's just simply no excuse. Much like you not worshiping me as a god. What reason can you give for not worshiping me and viewing me as a god? It's common sense, folks. So, what I'd like you to do is join me in walking. If you are sickly, walk 2/10 of a mile and go back to your house. If you can. Because I'm telling you, folks, about 4 days ago, a little bit more because my boss had told me he's another issue altogether. Speaking of not worshiping me as a god, he's another issue. We'll get to that some other time. For the first time, I've kind of seen my weight loss, and I don't have tremendous weight loss. My guess is it's I think it's more than 15 pounds because I cannot wear these pants anymore. These pants, they go like this, and then they don't look right. And I have a belt on them, keeping them tight, and I just can't present myself well. So what I did was, and I didn't want to do it because you know how the Chinese are. an XXL large is about as, you know what I mean? It's only like a size large in American. So, but I did. I wore the 3X, and with the Chinese products, that's what I was in, 3X. So now I've got the package coming from Temu, and it is going to be a 2X, which is not very big. It starts getting into size 36 and a half land, honestly. But they say 38, but I think it's a little less than that. So I will be happy to be in those because it'll make it easier for me to do my belt and not have the belt do weird things on my button there. So in that area. So again, I don't care what your situation is. I don't care if you have high blood pressure. I don't care if you have pain in your kidneys. You've got to get out and you've got to walk 5-6 minutes. And then when you can, you get out there and you walk another 4 to 6 minutes. Whatever you have to do, folks, because I've learned something in my life. Walking is life. To propel yourself forward in any manner. Whether you're swimming, bike riding, whatever it is. It's life. And you have to do it. And if you don't, you're going to pay the price. So, under my conditions, which would kill the average man would not be able to deal with my situation. They would not be able to do it. Now, let's get to some other things in my life. I bought my son a motorcycle, which he loves. It's a matter of fact, I only wanted to put him on a off-road style bike, like a dual-purpose bike. And for giggles and laughs, I was looking at the kind of cafe cruisers. Those are only 150cc, 125cc. These are small bikes over there because they just don't, they just don't. Yeah, there are people that ride the 500s and, and 400s and 350s, but it's a different kind of bike, and they're not mass produced. To be sure, they're not mass produced. You have to get them where you're able to. I mean, they have Harleys over there, but they're not really going to be sold brand new. They're going to be, among the ruins there. So, my wife went in there to do something. I get the papers for my son's bike that are late coming in, but that always happens. I know about that. And we looked at a very generic motorcycle, which is 155cc. It's made by Motostar. I had a Motostar bicycle, and I ran around with a couple of girls with it for a long time, maybe 8 years, 7-8 years. We had that bike, and it ran good, and we overstressed it a bit. But they're good bikes, and they hold up fairly well. You might get an electrical problem here and there with it or something to start her, but that can be dealt with over there because they've got people that work for a very low price to fix everything. All different sorts of things, from your vulcanizing of your tires when you get a flat tire to other things. They work on the cheap, and that's how it works in the Philippines. So you can do it over here in the United States. It's not a wise idea to buy those Chinese products because they will sock it to you when you take it into the repair shop, which will be guaranteed. They all fuck up. Those Chinese and those Spanish scooters and all of that, they're all junk. And I know I had one. I was so lucky I bought a cover. I was in the Philippines one time. That was in the year 2000 or 99. And I bought one of those scooters. It was a Chinese one. It looked beautiful. It looked like a Vino, which is a Italian design, Yamaha kind of looking. But it wasn't Yamaha. It was Chinese. But they copied it. And I was so paranoid about this because I did not trust the Chinese manufacturer of these, because I knew things went out, like the starters would go out, and they have real bad problems. I'll explain one of them to you right now. They have what they call fuel mixers. And what you do is you go out and you buy the 2-cycle oil and you pour it not into the gas. That's not what you do. You put it into the container which holds the 2-cycle, and the computer pumps in the correct amount. Or it's supposed to. And what happens invariably? The scooter's shut down because it clogs the mufflers, because it doesn't get it right. So what they do, or it could put not enough, but usually it puts too much. And you get, it clogs up the muffler, and it doesn't take long. It can take like 3 weeks. 3, 4, less if you're using it every single day to go like 25, 30 miles back and forth to work. It can take much less. So that's a real problem. Hence, they sell those in the Philippines, and what do? The Filipinos are smart, like me. They refuse to put the 2-cycle mix into the reservoir, and what they do is they just buy 4-ounce pack or 2.8 ounce pack. They put it right into the gas tank of the motorcycle, and then they put gasoline in with it, and it mixes to 28 to 1 or 34 to 1 or whatever it is, probably 40 to 1. And then you don't have any issues with, you bypass the computer, which you have to do unless you're a fucking retard, because that's exactly what happens. Now, the Yamahas are much better. Yamahas and Hondas, they know what they are doing. You can trust those. I still wouldn't trust them. I would mix it myself and put it directly in the tank, bypassing their mixing, and just let the reservoir go empty. But the other things are, like the blinkers stop working, and things like that. The starter won't start. They always do this, So if you're going to buy one of those, you buy one in the Philippines, not here. Believe me, they don't even want to work on them here. And when they do, they'll get arms and legs from you, and you'll just throw them out. And that's what they did. Somebody just left one on the road, leaning up against the tree. I think it's gone now, but it was there for like 3 weeks. Nobody wants them once they got problems. Sorry, had to spit there. So I wound up seeing a bike over in the Philippines because my wife went over to check the papers on our other bike, which is almost brand new. But it's nice. My son has put leather saddlebags on it and this and that, and it's like a little cafe cruiser, and he loves it. And he's going through this stage where, as you get older as an adult, you start understanding what's happening, and that is when people start doing the skull thing, it shows insecurity. It shows that you're trying to be something more than others, and you're not afraid of death, and you're contemptuous of death, and all this. And the leather jacket business, he wants to have a leather jacket thing going on. And, this is a kind of rebellious thing. And, my son grew up with my mom, with his mom, my wife. He grew up with her as an only child. So, he's a good boy, but he wants to spread his wings, and he doesn't want this mother hen shit anymore. So, I kind of get it, but I'm kind of buying this bike for them as a workhorse, as a cargo workhorse, because that's what's happening over there. Our store, we have to constantly drag things back and forth, and he's using his bike right now, and I think we just better buy one that's a plain Jane, and that's what we got. And the price is 44,100 pesos. That breaks down to $736. That's fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I can't afford to buy it, but I asked the dealer to let me pay him over 2 months, and he said yes. So I'm going to have to come up with $100. The down payment, I'm not going to take delivery of the bike until it's paid, but to hold it, because they're nice, they sold us our last bike, I'm going to put down 10,000 pesos, which is under 200, and then it's going to take 7 weeks to pay that off. It may take 6 if I can afford that. And then they're going to have a bike which the Muslims and the Indian people from India, they take these bikes, folks, I'm not kidding, they run them for 20, 22, 25 years. I mean, if you change your oil and you replace the wheels because the bearings are going to go bad eventually, those bikes are around for 15, 20 years. That's not an exaggeration. If you have Honda, like that TMX they have there, that 155 TMX, god damn it, that motherfucker, I see those from the late 80s. They're still using them. That TMX is fast too for a single cylinder 155. It's well known over there too, the gearing and such. So anyways, it's a very plain Jane. You'll see Indian people riding on those, Muslims, and they just use them to death. And they have Hondas which are about $2,500. My wife's sister, her sons, one of them is 21 years old now, and he wound up getting a good job, and he just bought a Honda. I forget what the name of the bike is, but it's like a 150 class, and it runs and runs and runs and runs and runs. And he had to time pay over many payments $160,000. In case you don't know, that's 60,000 per thousand. 60,000. I think they said it was 160,000. So that's 2,000 at 120. So it's about 2,500 US dollars, which is still substantial. But he didn't want a Chinese bike. He wants the Honda. And that's how it is. You get Yamaha or Honda, and you pay arms and legs. So we're going to try this. I used one for years and ran all over the Philippines with it. I'm not sure I would do it anymore, but I did when I was a young man. So that's kind of what's going on. I did order more perfume, and I ordered blue and purple of a copy of Versace. And they do look like them, but they're not represented as the name. They're called Verse. So I don't know how they smell. I hope it's good. The reviews say that they're good, but who knows? And they have the purple, I think, will smell better than the blue. It's for women. And my wife really wanted that one. She thinks she can sell that. And the profit margin is there. She can get 1,000 pesos for those, which is 16 US dollars. And you can make plenty of money, even with the shipping and stuff like that. God almighty, I'm just looking at these leaves. My God. I don't know. We must have had a really, really cold winter this year, because it doesn't seem like I remember this kind of leaf action. Anyways, I digress. I did not see any news. The AI Chinese guy is now... I didn't tell you the other ones. So I got 4 perfumes, or it may have been 5, but I think it was 4 to keep the money down. I bought 24 pieces of each of the Versace copy, blue and purple. And then for the men, I got... my son wanted one, so I entertained his idea, and I got 24 pieces of that one, and it's supposed to be some kind of Muslim perfume. And I looked at the ingredients, and something about cinnamon and something about a flavored root that's in there, and leaves that are aromatic and stuff. That's what I could, citronella and citron and all this kind of stuff. I'm not sure how it's going to sell. I had a very good one review that said it smelled incredible. And I'm telling you, with that place, your chances are around, I would say 33%, probably 30% of getting a likable, inviting perfume, because most of them, they're using very cheap compounds in there. And I tried to get the copy of Jean Paul Gaultier in the can, and it comes in a can, and it comes in a thing looking very similar. But when I smelled it, I only ordered 3 of them because I wanted to find out. The minimum you can get is 3 pieces. When you make an order, you have to order a couple $100 worth of stuff. So I figured as long as I'm doing that, let's check it out and see how those smell. So I went ahead and I got those, and they just smelled like they were really cheap perfume. That's just what it smelled like to me. Many of them. So the purple one, which I did not buy a great deal of, the purple one smells really good. It's fleeting, but it smells really good. And then I just ordered another one called After Dark. And it's a copy of a Zorro Most Wanted. They look like a .38 revolver. You know, the round part of it that spins. I forget what they call it. You know, the rotating part. And I can manage with it. I can manage with it. And the other one I bought, I told you I bought 48 pieces of that, and I got stung because that is not very nice, and I don't think it smells good at all. That's why when you buy from this place that I go to, your chances are around, I would say, between 22 and 28% of getting a likable perfume. And more likely than not, it's going to be very, very average or below. And that's what I'm finding. So if my son picked a good one, we'll order more of it and call it a day. Because these are going to go up. And obviously everything is going to go up. So I tried my best with the means that I have. So we'll see what happens on it. And that one is it's called Moody something. It's a copy of some perfume, and it does look intriguing. My son liked it, so I got it. And then I'm getting that Zorro clone, Wanted by Night, I think is what that's called. So again, I ordered that Ambrosia, and that Ambrosia had a beautiful name, and it smelled like absolute garbage. And I'm stuck with 48 pieces, so I'm going to use it myself. I'm going to keep 20 of those packages, and I'm going to use about one of those perfumes every 4 or 5 days, because I have to maintain my good looks and good body presentation and so forth. So I'll wear that every day when I come to work. And I have to, otherwise I have to go out and buy Old Spice and do that, because we work in this small little room with no air conditioning and no ventilation. So we can't take any chances here. So anyways, that's the day. This is how this day is shaping up. We've got nice sun coming through here, and I'm probably not going to walk for more than another half hour. And I'll get my 3 miles in this morning, and we'll have to rely on when I get out of work today. It was nice seeing and hearing a couple of my friends at the Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall, but an update on that. Folks, my heart is just not into it. It's not because I consider myself a god, but I know you're not going to like to hear this, because nobody likes to hear me put anyone down. They're absolutely blithering idiots. And it is so sad, because for about 3 years now, I've known John, my friend John, who's a Jehovah's Witness, elderly man, and his wife. And to say the least, they are not rocket scientists. I can assure you of that. They're nice people. They've helped me from time to time a lot. But, and I'm glad I've had their help. I haven't seen them in over a year. That's how bad it's been. But I worked 2 jobs for a while, so I couldn't play around with the Jehovah's Witnesses. But they had a grandson. They have a couple of sons, and they're doing okay. And the younger one, that's about 5 years younger than me, he's about 58 right now. He had his turn with pretty Latino women, and then they baptized the Latino woman there, and they had a daughter, and they baptized her, and she realized that it was a lot better doing the merengue and taking on Spanish guys while she was married. and doing a little dancing and flamingo dancing or whatever it is that she did. And she put this guy through hell. Bob, his name is Bob. That's the son of this guy, John. And he's kind of a jovial, kind of doofy guy, to be honest with you. Although I consider him doofy, but you might not. But he just looks like a doofy guy. He's got that Greg Brady hair that's curly. And, you know, he's lived a fair life. He had a nice house and he sold it. And he took a decent amount of change out of there. Immediately went and bought a Chevy electric van. Do I need to say any more? And he traded it in almost immediately. He only had that thing like 2 months. He traded it right in. And then he bought a something or another, Toyota or a Honda, something like that. A Pilot or whatever the hell it was, brand new. And he learned. So anyways, that you don't need to hear too much more about being real unbright than that. And he has 2 daughters, which are normal. And he has a young one from that Latino tramp there, because she was baptized. And then after she was baptized, the Jehovah's Witnesses don't even let you have a birthday party. That's not allowed, because you're glorifying yourself or somebody versus Jehovah, which is God. And so he has one like a 12-year-old girl now. I knew her when she was like 8 or 9. Very petite little girl. No trouble with her. She's very bright. And then he has an older one, which is around 20 now. She was around 17 a few years ago. And she's okay too. But they had a son named Kiefer. And this guy is a little chubby. Not super fat, but he's a little chubby. And he has learning difficulties, and that is to be sure. And what it proved is an absolute death sentence for this young man. 3 years ago, I watched him, and his mind does not work right. And he's like everyone else, except he's worse. And he doesn't understand anything, really. He's like a slow person. And, you know, now that he's of age, you know, he'll go into a party mix, and the woman will be married, and he'll start to try to talk to her. And, of course, this drives the grandfather crazy there, John, my friend there, and his dad, Bob. And then, of course, he wants to play the guitar, and then he wants to listen to this rap music, and he wants to do the things that normal kids do, but he's not normal. And unfortunately, like for example, if you see a kid, masturbating, this, like with some parents, that will go over and they'll not make a big deal about it, which is probably the right thing to do, unless there's some sort of real exotic thing happening there. It's part of growing up. And but for a Jehovah's Witness, this is a great sin, and something that should be addressed immediately, etc., etc. And the whole thing, it's just so horrible, because the kid basically is doing just what this kid would do over there. They're doing their thing there. They're doing their thing. And it's not moral, and it's not, but that's the way it is now. That's the way it is. And we were doing stuff a little bit like that too when we were young in the 70s and 80s. And this is an absolute death sentence for this poor young man. I wanted to take him out to throw discs, but there's like nothing I could do. They don't respect me anyway. They don't respect me. But because I have to work. I can't go with them to their Jehovah's Witness meetings to go get baptized. I can't do it. You have to go for like 6-8 months like that. So then you wonder, I can't take time off from work to do that. I can't do it. Not with somebody to support. I've got to take care of my family. So they don't understand this. They just figure you'll find a way. They are experts at getting you to separate you from your family members. They are experts at that. Anybody that knows the Witnesses know all about it. They're very well known. So the kid acts out, and he's not a kid. To be fair, he was like 19 or 20 a few years ago, so he's probably like 24 now. And for the last 2.5 years, they had him over at South Florida State Hospital. And I made a delivery there one time with DoorDash, and the people were so non-caring over there that they wouldn't even let me out of the gate. They didn't tip me, and they didn't let me out of the gate because I was locked in the gate. And they thought that I was looking for tips, and I wasn't. I wanted to get the hell out of there, and I was in there for almost an hour because they just kind of they trapped me in there. Maybe not on purpose, but they don't give a shit. So I never liked that place anyway. And they had him in there, and I saw a picture of him, and he looked like this. That's what he looked like. They zoned him the fuck out on probably every antidepressant and psychotic drug, from lithium to Tazakian or whatever the hell it's called. And I mean, he's just fucking like a walking zombie. But don't worry, because they put him into another facility. And by the way, he couldn't even leave his room. I mean, this place was ridiculous. They had a little chip vendor machine or something like that, and that's about as good as it got when they came over and visited him 3 times a week to talk about being a Jehovah's Witness. Because you'll be a Jehovah's Witness or you're going to be killed. That's the way this is basically working out. And I'm telling you the God's honest truth. So he's moved to another place there now in Miami, and this place, fortunately, will let him out for a little bit of daytime activity if the grandfather picks him up. And what do? They go to the some sort of event with the Jehovah's Witnesses. And folks, the Jehovah's Witnesses, there's just nothing happening, folks. You meet over there and you talk about how great it is to be a Jehovah's Witness. That's about the size of it, how good it is to see everybody. And I'm not exaggerating one iota. It's disturbing. So he gets to be treated to that, and you know, I'm sure he won't take him to go play a little billiards, or he won't take him to go and listen to some music or anything else like that, because that's all evil. It's so tragic. I could not believe when I saw a picture of the kid, and these people are so fucking dumb. And this poor kid is just a regular, normal kid who's real slow. And evidently, he must have been saying the wrong things in their captivity there at that place, because they didn't let him out. They kept him there for like 2.5 years. He's been in there for like 3 years, 2.5 years. And they're not letting him out. So he must be saying things or having these outbursts that he does. So it's such a tragic thing. Anyways, folks, my 3 miles are in for the morning, and I feel pretty good. I feel lighter. I will weigh myself tomorrow, because I'm sure now that I'm under 230 pounds. My guess is around 226 pounds, and we'll see where I lie, because I'm going to be in a very shortly. I just ordered size 38, which is probably going to be more like a size 37. That's what that turns out to with the Chinese over there when you order those pants. So let's see how it goes. It'll probably be very tight on me. And if I could get to 200 pounds, I would be absolutely ecstatic. But I believe I'm still at around 226. I think I've lost about 18 pounds. I think that's probably about right. I've not done this to extreme. I just walk every day. Anyways, folks, you do the same. Come here, worship me as a god, and I'll get you straightened out. Take care also to my subscriber who did the, what do you call that? That I forget, that famous artist. He does it in 4 pictures. I'd like to use that for my avatar. If you could do it with me looking like one of those cavemen and put that in 4 things, I think that would be absolutely tits. You know, if you want to send it to me, I'll use it, okay? I tried to grab it off your channel, but it won't let me take it. So I have to either take a picture of it, and like I don't want it. I don't want to get into copyright trouble with you or anything like that. But if you could, Andy Warhol, do that with Andy Warhol with the caveman where I have no nose or whatever that is. Do that one, okay? And then we'll put it up on my avatar. Take care, everybody. I will see you later. I feel good, and have a good day. I hope you do your walking. Bye.